Friends, family, subscribers, and fans of adventuring with the S.G.O.C.C. I present to you today's Thanksgiving holiday final story time with Geoff. So, I grew up in Napa, became a glazer at Javco Window and Glass, and one day I was given a job to do on the way home since I had my own little glass truck, little Toyota. All it was a small 18 by 18 insulated unit. The tag said Double Eagle Ranch on Soda Canyon Road, or off Soda Canyon Road. Okay, easy enough. I kept tape and all my tools on the truck anyways. I also kept my golf clubs behind the seat because it was the extra cab. So I go out, I get there, I pull up, and there's a guy I don't recognize swinging a golf club in the grass nearby where I'm going to work. So I introduce myself, tell him why I'm there. He says, okay, go ahead, I'm just going to do my thing here. And as I'm working, we start chatting. And now, this may seem kind of odd, but in all my years of living in Napa at the time and playing golf in and around Napa with my friends, I had never actually met Johnny Miller. Unbeknownst to me, he was there in person in front of me. As I'm working, we're talking. He asking me if I play golf, and I said, yeah. He starts asking me what clubs I use, and I said, well, as soon as I finish this, I'll pull them out of the back of my car and show you. Okay, and 15, 20 minutes later, I was done. Put all the tools away, cleaned up, got done washing the window, something I always did after I get done. We go over to the truck, and I pull my clubs out. And at that time, I had this great big heavy Sam Snead leather bag. One that once I taught my dad how to play golf, he ended up with that bag. And I'm pretty sure I had Sam Snead irons back then. So he looks at them, looks at me, and he says, how tall are you? I'm 6'3". He says, you know your clubs are way short for what your size is. I said, yeah, that's probably why I'm not very good at it. And he asked me if I would mind stepping over to his workshop, which was essentially a fake windmill without the wind portion that he had as a workshop. We go in, and it's literally lined on 3 walls with benches and golf clubs by number all the way around these 3 walls, just right next to each other. So he asked me if I wouldn't mind swinging a couple of cavity back clubs. I tried. He says, nah, that's not for you anyways. So he had me swing a regular club, but it was an Adams Right. I think he must have been sponsored by them or something. So he measures my swing, has me go out with a 7-iron, swing it like I normally do. And he said my swing was sound, I just had the wrong clubs. So he spent about an hour and a half clubbing up a full set of irons for me. Sand wedge, pitching wedge, utility wedge, 2 through 9, and there was one more club in there too. Threw them all in a Sunday bag, and that was my tip. That was thank you for coming out and doing the job real quickly. The whole time we're talking, and he's working on my clubs though, I just felt like the biggest idiot. Because here, Johnny Miller's a pretty famous guy in Napa. Played on the PGA for many years. Had a house, I think, on the North Course at Silverado. Really nice guy. And that was odd because I had heard all these horrid tales of what a horrible guy he was and what horrible children he had. Normally that's the case when, somebody has an isolated incident and they judge a whole person's character based on that. I found him to be quite the gentleman. Very nice, very informative. He was just a guy, another golfer, trying to help me with my golf game by setting me up with some better clubs. To this day, I don't play cavity backs. I still play those very same clubs that he set up for me. And my game improved 5-6 strokes right away. The clubs were made to my length. They had really good grips on them. I think some of them have been re-gripped since, but anyways, that's my story of my interaction with Johnny Miller. And this is probably 20 years ago, maybe more, maybe 30. I was able to teach my father the game later on. He was a state-ranked men's seniors racquetball player. I think he got as far as third in the state. And his knees and his hips started giving him a little bit of problems. He was always a very athletic man. Pushed us to be athletic as well. And when I started my own junior golf program through disadvantaged youth, and I'd take them up to the veterans home where there was a driving range there, and some of the old vets would help me, and we would teach these youngsters the fundamentals of golf. And I'd go around to garage sales, buy clubs, shorten them, re-grip them. And I got a deal on a friend of mine who did a lot of leather work, and she made these little bags for kids. And the deal was if you went through the whole 6-week program, you got to keep clubs. But then the PGA swooped in on me, got an injunction through the Napa court, and stopped me from running my own junior golf program. The only way you can teach junior golf in America, especially in Napa, was through the PGA, where kids had to pay a decent amount of money. And a lot of these kids, they just didn't have it. So that's another one that went up in smoke. But I'll never forget the looks on those kids' faces the first time they struck a ball pure. That's why we play golf. More to follow. This has been a Fun Brothers production.